All right, coming in at number 48 on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings, right back to Ann Arbor and the U.S. National Team Development Program. It's a player whose stock may have risen faster and more consistently than anyone else this entire season. If you go from when Teddy Stiga came into this season, third, fourth, fifth round pick, sorry, bud, you might not even hear your name on draft weekend. Now, it could be the first night a team could fall in love that much with the play style of Teddy Stiga.
Ross, I don't think that's that crazy to say. I'm right there with you. I am very high on Stiga. In 61 games, he had 36 goals, 43 assists, good for 79 points. That's with the USNTDP, of course. And he's committed to Boston College. He's going to go there next season. And you talk about how he really climbed as the season went on. He finished third on the team in points. So really, he was able to rack up the points there, 18 more points than games played. He had 11 points as assistant captain of Team USA in 7 games with them. I believe that's at the U18s. I think I omitted that from my notes. Yep, U18s. So you got to love that. That's a big reason why he got that big boost of scouts' attention and climbed up people's ranking. But there's so much to like about Stiga's game. And Ross, we kind of use the term jack of all trades usually with a lot of prospects. Now, I think that gets the connotation that he's just like meh or very vanilla. So I want to preface, I got Stiga as a jack of all trades, but I mean that as an utmost level of a compliment. Like, I think he's not
He's
a
Teddy
little,
of all trades.
sure, a Teddy of all trades. He's not average at everything. He's not a little above average at everything. He's a major step above average in almost every category, it seems. Like, Ross, where do you see Stiga really shining on the ice?
The thing is, it just takes one team as well to jump and take him high. Because I think that the NHL sphere, it takes a lot longer because they're watching him for 2-3 years. They're the type, like they have to be convinced if they're like, wait, but there's these other guys that have been so much better for 2-3 years. Is this just a flash in the pan playing with good players at the program? But he's doing so many things that are translatable. The way that his motor never stops defensively, the way he has commitment in the defensive zone, as well as his ability up the ice with the puck and getting it to guys in great areas that they can move into a scoring position, or they can find him back with these little give and goes. He's a type of player that's always in the mix. Like, definitely not as physical as Ryan Leonard from last year, another Boston College guy who seems like he's probably going back too. So these guys could be teammates. But in terms of that dogged pursuit of the puck that I really just appreciate, I think he's going to be a favorite of the coaching staff at Boston College. A lot of turnover there with Gauthier out. Still no word on what's going on with Will Smith. I guess with Macklin Celebrini, you probably want those two to go together up to the NHL. So there's going to be a lot of turnover at Boston College. They're still going to get great goaltending with Jacob Fowler. And like, dude, imagine an NHL team comes. 2 of our favorites now are Boston College commits that we've covered so far as we're counting up our prospect pool. Like Will Skahan on the back end, Teddy Stiga up front, both going to BC. Like, man, if a team could come out with both of those players, I think they'd be doing well. Literally 2 of our favorite players so far that we've done in the draft. So with Teddy Stiga, you asked me what he does great. And that's kind of where you said, like, hey, I bet you can't pick just one. But for me, it's how fast he's continually pushing up. I have a huge respect for people who, when the pressure's on in their draft year, take the biggest leap of their development so far. I think it's a great sign that it's consistent and that it's sustainable for the years to come. I would be excitedly surprised if he gets into the first round. Otherwise, like, he's a guy I'd be comfortable with the Sens taking at 39 for sure.
I would love if the Sens took him at 39, Ross. I even think I could talk myself into saying if they took him with that first rounder, it wouldn't be the worst thing either. I've got this guy as my top ranked forward so far, and I think for sure you nailed it with his biggest attribute is his motor. This guy plays with such pace. He's a skilled playmaker. He plays both sides of special teams, power play and penalty killing. He makes space for teammates with deception. He works hard and is a strong defender. I think if you talk to scouts from all 32 teams, they'd all have glowing reviews of Teddy Stiga.
Well, what I'd like to go with this year-over-year progression, I know we talked about this with other players like Miguel Marcus comes to mind, but with Teddy Stiga last year in the USHL. So NTDP plays in the USHL as well as amongst themselves and other situations. In 27 games against the USHL last year, he had 12 points. Against the same competition now a year later, of course it's going to be better, but a 26-point improvement, 38 points in those 27 games against that same competition. So the production's there, the motor is sustained, like the way he's doing it, you're not like, oh wow. Like with Cole Eiserman, sometimes you watch him play and you're like, he didn't have a great game. Oh, 2-1. Like you're almost like wondering, like, oh, that shot is that good. But with Stiga, it's just the little things that he does makes him a great player. So he is, if you haven't been able to figure it out from the way I'm talking about him so far, he is right up there with the top forwards that we've covered so far. He's above Julius Miettinen. He's above Max Plant. He's above Adam Yetko. He's for me the top forward that we've covered so far.
Ross, Teddy Stiga is my highest rated player so far. I'm giving him 4.5 stars out of 5. Yeah, like I mentioned, at 39, I would be ecstatic about this. If they decided to go for him with that second first rounder, I wouldn't have an issue with that either. So let's keep an eye on this player, because I think it's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up throughout this draft.
There's only one player that we've covered who I have ahead of him, Stian Solberg. That's it. It's the only player who I have ahead of Teddy Stiga right now, who in our draft rankings comes in at number 48. I don't even think I mentioned where everybody has him, so I'll wrap up with that. Elite prospects at 23.
Yep.
Scott Wheeler at 30. McKean's at 44. Craig Button at 48. And Bob McKenzie down at 68. So maybe the Sens get lucky. Maybe they can get him
That's
a
crazy.
little later.
He's so low for Bob. Wow.
Comes in with an average of 42.6. For more draft profiles, go check out Locked On Senators on YouTube.